Welcome to another episode of Culture Shock. My name is Shawn Galloway, the president of ProAct Safety. In many organizations, there are a few people who represent the majority of the injuries, and sometimes there are also a few people that represent some of the performance issues. And a lot of times organizations will go overboard with blanket approaches that really need to be focusing on just a few individuals. So there's something that we developed in ProAct Safety that we call Individual Coaching Action Plans. It's called ICAP. And I'd like to provide the outline of what this looks like and encourage you to try to figure out if this is something that you can take internally in your organization. Number one, what is that purpose? Are we trying to fix the system so we have a great culture? Or are we trying to develop a case to fire somebody? I hope that you're looking at fixing the systems. A lot of the management gurus say that whenever there are performance issues, it's typically a management or systems issue. Because did we hire in the wrong people, or did we hire the right people and they've gone off in the wrong direction? The next thing to look at is what's the current perception of coaching? In some organizations, they look at coaching as something to do to fix bad people or to fix bad problems. What we're trying to do here with coaching is help people get better. We don't want to just focus on their weaknesses. What are the things that maybe they're really good at that we can help them excel in? The other thing to consider is that as you're putting this together, we want to make sure that this does not suppress reporting. Because if people feel as though that there's a negative perception of coaching and now we have some performance issues and we want to try to help these people by coaching them, if that's viewed as a negative thing, we certainly don't want that to suppress reporting. Look at your existing policies. Are you currently addressing discipline or performance issues with a performance management plan or even a progressive discipline plan? But understand what your policies are first. Do you have current approaches like an employee assistance program? Next thing to look at is say, who would be the best individual to help coach these people? In some organizations, we've found when we've employed these tactics, sometimes it's best to be the fellow employee. Sometimes it's the local union representative if you have bargaining unit representation. Sometimes it's the human resource professional. In some situations, it's the individual's direct supervisor or somebody on plant management. But the thing to consider is, for this to be effective, it needs to be frequent coaching, not a once-in-a-month type of thing. So who's going to be there at 2:30 in the morning when this individual is working on shift work, and we need to make sure that this individual is being positively coached. The other thing to look at is as we're starting to document some of this stuff to help this individual improve performance, we want to be able to maintain confidentiality. But if we're working as an agent of the company, can we really maintain confidentiality? Again, there are several things to look at here. This is why I encourage you to look at these items to try to figure out, can this be an approach that would work for your organization? I've also written an article on this that you can find on our website at proactsafety.com, and it was called Frequently Injured: Fire the Person or Fix the Problem. So next thing you look at is developing the coach. What I encourage you to first do is to internally perform an organizational safety culture assessment. What is the current culture? What would they support? What would they not support? What tactics would be best? How would this be best rolled out and perceived by the workforce? After this, we generally work with these individuals in a workshop setting to train them in a lot of role-playing, scenario-based training to make sure that they can be truly not just competent in this, but confident as well. After this, then we want to support them over some monthly webinars, perhaps even some visits to make sure, or remote coaching to make sure that they're going in the right direction with this. After this, they complete their certification and they are then certified as ICAP coaches. Now, when they start to go out into the workforce, there's a couple of things that they need to start to do. Once they've identified a small group of individuals that they really want to try to help and coach them for more desirable performance, number one, you need to, again, identify who this coach is going to be. After that, meet with the individual that we're considering coaching in this area. Involve your local human resources. If there's, again, union representation, make sure the local union officials are involved in this. That's critical. When you meet with these folks, we need to make sure that we're expressing concern. They need to know that we're doing this because we care. That's very, very critical, not because this is another policing action or something. That's really critical to determine. Discuss the approach and discuss the purpose of what we're trying to do with this individual. Once we've done this, then we want to plan the first meeting with them to review everything. So the steps of the ICAP process are this. Again, when you're back with this individual, express concern. Come across more that you're caring rather than this is something as a fault finding or a gotcha program and that we're responding to this because it's negative. We're doing this because we care about the individuals. The next thing you need to do with this individual is agree on the facts. You're not going to get commitment to move forward on this unless we have agreement on what the facts are. What are the things that we're trying to improve here? After that, we need to get agreement to work together. We're not going to be successful with this unless the individuals that we're trying to help coach and be better in their performance have agreement that we can be successful with this. After that, you want to interview the individual. You want to get an understanding of what they're like as an individual. You want to look at their performance issues, perhaps any incidents or accidents that they've been involved in, and do what's called a Pareto analysis on their events. You're looking for the significant few and the trivial many. In safety, we do a lot of things in Pareto analysis by reporting out the most frequently injured body part or type of injury. But we're looking at this a little bit differently. We're looking at this to try to understand what are the prevention opportunities and what are the variables that maybe we see some commonality in, like the type of work that they're doing, as an example. The next thing you want to look at is employer-led action plans. Maybe this individual needs some training. Maybe we need to put them with another group. Maybe it's personality conflicts. But look first at what the employer-led action plan needs to be. After that, we look at, well, what do we need the individual to be doing differently? We go out and we actually coach. Coaching has two major components I've talked about in many of these videos: observation and feedback. And what we're trying to do with feedback is help this individual provide future positive behavior. Last thing, if all else fails, now we're at the point that we're counseling this individual. And counseling is typically when we start moving into the discipline side of things. But that's the last thing that we want to try to employ here. It's like that old saying, if the only tool we have is a hammer, every problem starts to look like a nail. What we're trying to do with ICAP here is to provide you additional set of tools for your performance management toolbox. If you have any comments that you'd like to share, there are several options. You can post a comment here on Canadian Occupational Safety Magazine's website. You can email me at info@proactsafety.com or visit my podcast blog website at www.safetycultureexcellence.com and leave a comment there. Thanks again for all that you do. See you next time.